Hey guys, this is Coach Green Gene, and I'd like to welcome you guys out to another online discussion with yours truly, Coach Green Gene, here speaking on our online discussion, paper versus paper. And so, just again to give you a little introduction, I am again Coach Green Gene, the managing director of Harmonic Connections Plus, the lead instructor and developer of the 3H Intro into Pre-Apprenticeship workshop. And this is a workshop for young people ages 12 to 17. And we give these young people a basic introduction into construction safety, craft work, and also technology. These are self-sustaining skill sets that we actually look to share with these young people so that they can have these items or these skill sets with them for a lifetime. Our desire is for young people to have a number of skill sets and that they would use these skill sets to actually project them into their innate God-given craft. And we believe that that craft is what allows them to become an answer or the answer for relevant solutions, solving problems within their time, in their day, in creating sustainable pathways for the generations that follow them. And so our topic for today on Paper versus Paper is your story or your stories. See, we feel that in being the answer to problems and being a relevant problem solver, we feel that it's important that we all come into grips with the story or our story of our recent past family members and our ancestors. Because it's with these stories that actually shape and mold our purpose for today and where we're going in the future. And so I just wanted to speak on that for a minute and then get out of your way. And so I wanted to start by just saying that there's a topic that me and Dr. Dula we're writing on right now, and that is the making of a legacy builder. And we feel that legacy builders are so important for today that we feel that this kind of individual in our midst will assist us with being sustainable problem solvers. We're not looking for just individuals that are going to just solve problems, because sometimes we can solve problems, and in the midst of solving problems, we can be creating more problems. Now, we want to get in a place where we're creating sustainable pathways, problems that do not rob future generations. And so within writing this particular this book with Dr. Dula, you know, my business partner, my best friend, we had an actual, we have a definition that we're working from. I wanted to share that with you related to what a legacy builder is. And we say that a legacy builder is an individual that uses the skill sets of the head, heart, and hands as a beginning building block into unlocking their innate God-given craft. And that the legacy builder takes responsibility to discover how to work their craft in community with others to solve relevant problems beyond their own needs as a way to build sustainable pathways for future generations. And I know that's a lot, but it is, and it's power packed. But there is something to look at and garnish there as we're building the next generation of future leaders. there is something to say about our educational system today. And we, as parents and as leaders and as mentors, um, need to step in and take responsibility for our parts. And I know one thing that we're doing as an organization, Harmonic Connections, Dr. Dula, she is speaking on the pathway of sustainability as it relates to that birthing year for mothers and for families. And then I'm coming by way of speaking to our young people and encouraging them and us as parents on creating pathways, sustainable pathways for the next generation by encouraging our young people to expand on their learning abilities by picking up as many skill sets as they can handle as they're navigating their lives, to help them create sustainable pathways for themselves as they move into their professional life. And so with that, I just wanted to share that I'm reading a book now. It's Working with Your Hands by Booker T. Washington. And that's become a very interesting and amazing read because, what you may know by now is that I deal a lot about the head, the hands, and the heart. And when I did read Up From Slavery, I didn't realize how much of this particular learning process was a part of Booker T. Washington's teaching, a lot about what he stood for. And one of the excerpts that he wrote in here, and this was shared, this book, I didn't realize that this particular book was a sequel to Up From Slavery. And a friend of mine, Jateko Ashante, has shared this with me. And Jateko, I thank you for it because this is amazing. One of his excerpts, he was working for a woman by the name of Miss Ruffner, who was a very strict individual when it came to the upkeep of her home. And so the young men in the community would come and work, and they would get paid a certain amount during a month. And one of the attractive offers were not only that they would be able to have nice things to eat, but they would also were giving an opportunity to go to school at night. And Booker T. Washington, that was one of his desires, was not only to be educated with his head, but to be educated with his hands to make way for himself, his family, and the legacy of his people. And so he had made a statement right here. It said, "While I have never wished to underestimate the awakening power of purely mental training, I believe that this visibility, tangible contact with nature gave me inspirations and ambitions which could not have come in any other way." So he had he understood that mental training and education of the mind was important, but what actually assisted him in breaking through to understanding his craft and his why, what his sense of purpose was, him working with his hands and being in contact with nature. That skill set that was developed in him assisted him to him being an answer for his day and time, and actually him influencing generations well past him all the way up into today. And so I just wanted to encourage us as individuals to make sure that as we are moving forward, that we tell our stories, that we revisit our stories of our relatives from not just here, yes, our relatives that are alive and our relatives are not so distant relatives who has passed on to become ancestors, to revisit those stories, of their occupations and how they were assisting us in with being problem solvers, and how they helped community, our distant relatives, our ancestors that were enslaved Africans in the South, and the spirit of self-determination and creativity that they have extended to through us, through their sacrifices. Is these stories that we need to not be ashamed and to actually use to actually assist us with being legacy builders and problem solvers today. And that's one of the main things that I think is so important as we become the problem solvers or the legacy builders of our day to day. And so that was one of the things that I wanted to share with and leave with you for today. And I want to also invite you guys out to make sure that you become, allow your young people to join us. I'm trying to get it up on my my screen here. There you go. Here we go. Yes. So these are the young people that are part of our 3H Intro to Pre-Apprenticeship workshop, and we want your young person to come and be involved with us. Our next workshop is on Saturday, March 7th, starting at 12, from 12 to 4 p.m. And we have an amazing time. And our young people actually again are being introduced to the construction arena as it relates to safety, craft work, and technology. Here in this particular photo, our young people have the opportunity to be a part of the Bluebeam software, a software that I use at work every day as a construction superintendent. And so they have their hands on, we have instructors coming in, professionals that assist and work with us. So please go to coachgreengene.com so that your young person is able to take advantage of this amazing workshop. This is again on our next workshop is Saturday, March 7th. And it's from 12 to 5. You can sign up and register at coachgreengene.com. That's coachgreengene.com. And we would love to have you guys. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. That's Coach Green Gene, where you can be updated to free content as it relates to our workshops and other paper versus paper online discussions. And we are having a special guest on our next paper versus paper online discussion. That is Haj. He is a clothes designer, and he's going to be on the broadcast sharing with us his actual professional life as a designer. And we're excited to have him to be able to share with us his process and how he navigated his pathway as a young man from Senegal and in America, making designer clothes for top professionals. And so we'll be excited to hear from him as he shares his story. And so again, thank you guys for joining us. And we'll look forward to hearing from you real soon. Don't forget to go to coachgreengene.com to register your young person ages 12 to 17 for our next amazing workshop. Have an amazing evening, and we appreciate, again, you joining us. Take care. Bye-bye.